OK, our top story, you just heard it there, was about the deadly bomb attack, the gun attack in Mogadishu. Joining us live in the studio is security analyst Olivier Guita. I was told by officials in Mogadishu within the last 8 months that they thought they had Shabaab beaten. So what's been happening? Because this isn't the first one.
Right. Unfortunately, security services, even in the West, seem to really understate the threat of groups such as Shabaab. They've been very good at planning operations even outside Somalia. So we see that Mogadishu is really the place where they've had success, but also don't forget Westgate in Kenya, the attack on the mall.
But they're still very much a regional organisation, aren't they? It's not exported as Islamic State violence or Al-Qaeda violence is, or am I wrong there? I mean, you talk about Kenya and Somalia, but where else?
Correct. I mean, they will go after Ethiopia, they will go after other countries in the Horn, but you are correct. I mean, they're not like Islamic State, but Al-Shabaab is still, I think, the most relevant Al-Qaeda franchise in the world, and they're showing that today again.
So why haven't they beaten them? Because it was, as I said, a conversation with a senior government official who said, listen, we've got control of Kismayo, we've got control of Mogadishu, all of the urban centres, they've just got a little bit of land here, land there, and effectively they're over. What's gone wrong?
Look, basically it's an asymmetrical war, and until you get really the human intelligence, you get the complicity on the ground, under wraps. What we've seen tonight were an attack on a hotel, a restaurant, like we've seen now twice with Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb. Any government cannot really cover that. So I think security services have to tell people that the threat is not over yet, because then we are emboldening those groups by saying they're dead and then they're coming back.
They used to get a lot of their money, and there are, what, 8,000 to 10,000, you reckon, members of Al-Shabaab.
Yeah.
It costs a bit of money. They used to get a lot of that from piracy off the Somali coast. Now, that has been squashed to some extent. So where nowadays do they get their funds?
Right. So there's still a little piracy, there's still some racketeering, but there's also fundraising within the Somali diaspora and in other countries in Africa. So, and those operations do not cost a lot of money, I reckon. So what they need now is that kind of attention that we are giving them today, of attacking targets that are expats, local rich people, but also going abroad. And that's what's going to put them on the map again.
And Olivier, in terms of an overall objective, would they want to destabilise what little government there happens to be in Somalia to the extent that the people turned against that government, or what?
Right. I mean, most of the groups linked to AQ, the idea, as you mentioned before...
Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda, yes. Those groups would want to hold the territory, because as we've seen with the case of the Islamic State, when you hold the territory and you rule it, then you get taxes and you get money from the people, and then you're much tougher to get rid of. But in this case, they're already very strong without having a major piece of land, if you will. So that's troubling.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Olivier Guita.